Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to Six News. So today we have the mid-season balancing, and of course this is the very last balancing for year 6. Year 7 is about to be announced next month. We'll have a roadmap and all that and whatever they plan to do throughout that year. And of course, as this is the last mid-season balancing, usually it's not crazy. We don't usually have like operator balancing or stuff like that because of course we got the Six Invitational coming out, so no major like reworks to operators that might just absolutely change the meta before we get there. However, let's get started, and first we've got the balancing graphs, and I wonder if they're calculating this a little bit differently because this looks unusual in some ways. So this is ranked PC, platinum and above, year 6, season 4 attackers, and what the hell has happened to Blitz? What is he doing up here? We got Yana here, which I'm not surprised by. She's absolutely awesome, but her win rate's pretty much perfect. And although, you know, we probably want like our operators at least under here, this isn't too bad. And Ash is here. Zofia has dropped ground considerably since her little nerf. Vinka's doing quite well, but not a huge pick rate or anything there. And everyone is really in the center line here for the win delta. That is incredible. Of course, we got Glass down here doing terrible. We got Monty not doing the worst, but definitely not great. Big collection of operators right here. And we've got Fuse up here, but he's not getting picked much. And Osa, IQ, Thermite, Buck, Nomad right in the center. That is pretty good. So yeah, this seems quite different from usual, but if we're just talking pure balance, other than obviously the outliners with Galaz and Blitz there. Going down to defenders, this is again interesting. Really high pick rate here on Jaeger, but he's losing more games than he's winning, but of course he's in 60% of the rounds, which means of course he's going to be on the winning team and the losing team at the same time. But definitely not anywhere near where he used to be, like over freaking here and stuff. And this is interesting. So, wow, Thorn. She's doing very good. That's probably down to her weapon. Her gadget is good as well if used right. Valkyrie, Melusi. And actually, Thunderbird and Thorn here are relatively new. You could say Melusi as well, maybe. But quite interesting to see these operators who are quite new apart from Valkyrie up in this position. Then let's see what we got in the center here. So Aruni, Mira, Capcan, Mozzie, Bandit, Legion down here, Wamai. But of course some of these are getting into the more dangerous lower kind of win rates. But overall, good collection in the middle. No one like crazy up here, but we do have a crazy one down here. It's Clash, we've got Castle, Chanka. So overall, both of those graphs are different from what I expected. And I wonder if that's down at the player base or what. Oh, and one other thing I should actually bring up, because this always ends up in the comments. People believe that these graphs are what the developers use to balance the game. And it's not the case. This is the distilled information. That's why it's just a certain platform. That's why it's just a certain rank. So that we, the actual people looking at it, can get a basic understanding of how things are sitting, but of course they've got all the information. So they can look at Blitz here with this crazy win rate and they know, oh, we don't have to nerf him because we've got this other data that's, you know, showing that he's not actually performing this good. So don't worry, this is just a distilled version for our viewing pleasure. Anyway, let's move on to ban rates. So we got, again, ranked PC, platinum and above, and we got Thatcher, Jackal, and we got Noban and Monty. So nothing too unusual in there. I do like the fact that Osa is here, relatively new operator, even though of course obviously it's not much of a difference between the ban rates, but I like that she's kind of threatening. That is, you know, the basics of it. Then we got the ban rates for defenders. We got Mira, Valkyrie, Kaid, Clash, then Noban, then Capcan, Melusi, Thorn, and nothing too kind of unusual in this. Now I do wonder where Valkyrie would be on this graph if her little nerf had gone through, which would have stopped her putting cameras outside. So very curious what will happen next season if that shows up, because it got delayed pretty much by an entire season. If it shows up next season, I'm curious if the ban rate will go down or up. Because if her cameras are being used inside more, I can actually see them being more threatening. So very curious to see how that will shape out next time. But nothing too surprising here, although I would say that Mira and Valkyrie being this close together is a little bit of a surprise. Usually, I think Mira's a little bit more ahead. And then we have a little note here, which just says that because the Six Invitational is coming up, they don't want to, entirely change metas. So there's no major reworks or anything coming in, which is pretty normal for this time of year. And actually, this balancing is out about 2 weeks early. Usually it's out in the last week of January. So having this out right now on the test server is quite good and nice and early as well. But I would point out there has been another big change. So it was announced that the leadership of Siege is changing. We've got a new kind of director coming in at the head of Rainbow Six for year 7. Now I'm sure that actual change took place internally a good couple of months ago. They've probably been, going through the phase of transition for a while, but still it may well have impacted the balancing choices here, perhaps. But then moving down, we've got operator balancing. So everything here is relatively simple. We're going to be getting a muzzle brake on the MK14 for Aruni. And of course, she just has the silencer right now. So this is all around a perfectly good upgrade. And I don't think anyone's going to be too fussed by that. I think obviously her main weapon that people choose is the Aruni. I do love running the MK14 on defense just because it feels different and a bit fun. And I'll probably stick to the silencer as well. But nice to have the muzzle brake as an option. Yeah, so nothing too amazing about this and nothing too controversial, I think. I think this is a very good change for Aruni all round. But talking about controversial, this one's bound to be controversial. So a very big nerf here for Ela's shotgun. It's going down from 35 damage to 25. That is a pretty significant change. They've also nerfed the extended barrel, although they say here that the nerf to the actual extended barrel is tiny. Like you wouldn't even notice the difference. So obviously with the damage going down, you will notice that, but this really isn't having any major impact on it. So yeah, I think a lot of people will be very pissed off, but also a lot of people will be very happy because that was a rather easy gun to use. So making it a bit more difficult, bringing it up to, closer to the SMG, I think is not a bad move, but we'll see how it plays out because it might just be that no one plays that shotgun anymore. And then of course that's not good if we're losing options. And then a rather interesting one here, Ela and Zofia. So Ela's getting hit twice with nerfs. And of course, Zofia's been doing relatively good. She kind of became the new Ash for a little while. And I guess they're still trying to kind of impact her a little bit. So what they've done is they've removed the speed reduction that comes from the concussion mines and Zofia's concussion grenades. This is going to be quite a nerf, I think, for both of them. But probably everyday gameplay, you're not going to notice it. But certainly it is going to make it a little bit harder to get those kills off the traps or off the grenades. Although I think with Zofia, the slowing effect isn't really a big consideration, whereas with Ela, because it's a trap, I think it is a bigger impact on her. But that's it, guys. That's the mid-season balancing, of course, for January. It's pretty light on changes, but that is very normal. And yeah, I'm curious to see what they're going to be having for year 7. That is coming up super quick, and of course we'll get roadmaps and everything for that along with the new season. And I expect to see some proper reworks in there. And I do wonder if the Goyu want to show up or if there'll be any major changes to other operators, how it's going to play out. And if there'll be a change in mindset with a new creative director at the helm as well. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.